WECT investigates tonight. What has North Carolina done to protect your personal information after a data breach hit nearly 4 million people across our state? It's been more than a year since Attorney General Jeff Jackson opened an investigation into the PowerSchool data breach, and there have been no public updates since. WECT's Connor Smith has been looking into the status of that investigation. Connor, what are you hearing tonight?
Well, Fran, the State Justice Department tells me investigations like this can take years, but some education officials say students and teachers just can't afford to wait. A year ago this month, a 19-year-old college student pleaded guilty to hacking PowerSchool, exposing the data of millions of families and teachers across North Carolina. The breach triggered an investigation by State Attorney General Jeff Jackson, but in the years since, there have been no public updates.
Our students and our families deserve better than this.
New Hanover County School Board member Josie Barnhart met with Jackson's office last week, pushing for more action.
We have not forgotten that we support our staff and we support our students, and that we're going to continue to seek justice.
The breach data included names, addresses, and social security numbers of families and teachers, hitting nearly every school district in our region.
You don't want to think about your data being sold and leaked and potentially your identity being stolen just because you enrolled your kids in the school. That's ridiculous.
After the breach, Jackson's office requested documents from PowerSchool related to the incident. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton sued PowerSchool last year, and school districts across the country have done the same. But Jackson has not filed suit, so we pressed his office for answers. A spokesperson responded, quote, "Complex investigations like these take time, sometimes a couple of years. We continue to prioritize this investigation with the goal of holding accountable companies that compromise North Carolinians' data or personal information."
We will complete this investigation. We'll do it diligently, and then based on the facts, we'll decide whether or not to proceed in court.
In the meantime, Barnhart says New Hanover County Schools is making security upgrades. She declined to share specifics, but says the goal is preventing another breach.
We're taking steps in the right direction to make sure that privacy is prevailing here in New Hanover County.
For now, the district is still waiting on Jackson's office as investigators continue reviewing documents tied to the breach. Now, if your family was impacted, there is still help available. Jackson's office has offered services to those affected by the breach, and we have details on how to access those resources in this story on your WECT News app. Connor Smith, WECT News.